I've been thinking about what's good for eating lately, and historically, what has kept people alive throughout what we know as time. And it is a little bit of everything in a weird way, just because everything is like made up of everything. Uh, you know, if we're all just space dust, that's interesting because, we've arranged ourselves in such an interesting way for dust. And even in our ancient texts, it says we're made of the dirt, right? Sculpted like clay. I think that's cool. I think it's pretty neat. Food really keeps us alive. And at the end of the day, we're all just space dust. We're in this cycle of consumption and not consumption. There is some stability here. That's a funny place to find yourself because stuff starts to happen. And that's where we get materialism. And, that's a whole topic in and of itself, which I'm really not looking to delve into right now. I've just been thinking about grilling. That's like my roundabout way of getting to this. I've been thinking about grilling and an open flame, and it's nice. It's good stuff. It is fuel. It's fuel. And the feedback I've been getting is this is good stuff. You know, I like feeding the people around me. And I kind of just developed cooking as a habit when I was living by myself. Not so much by myself, but in an apartment cooking for myself, which is a choice that I made to do. I was not in, a great financial situation to pay for food. And so I was actually given food sometimes, and I would cook this food. And then we can share a meal, and that's good. That's really nice stuff. That's something I'm really grateful for, is that I've been cared for in this world and really cared for, really treated well. And food is one way that I can give back. If I can give something that makes someone better, even just a little bit, it's all worth it. And I've been enjoying lamb lately. And it just makes me think about animals, living in nature, living in the wild. And, that doesn't exist so much anymore. In a weird way, that doesn't really exist anymore because we have become so occupied with ourselves that we have not stopped to think about what surrounds us in a grand sense. And it's sad because there's suffering. And I only know so much as I see. If I hear it, if I see it written down, I can't be certain of it. From what I've seen, people are doing okay, but I don't know about animals. I don't know populations of animals. I don't know this stuff. I didn't learn this stuff. I don't know how the animals are doing. I want the animals to be good, but people say fishing, overpopulating the ocean. I feel in some way that these are just scare tactics. to actually, maybe even take advantage of some system. But at the same time, I think that, this world just happens to exist in some really beautiful unison where we can actually help other things. And specifically animals. Animals take up a lot of space, Humans are animals too. We take up a ton of space. And that's really the reason why other animals, their habitats kind of may have suffered. Their habitats, Uh, and ours have expanded on this planet. And I think it's a serious question how far we can actually take something like this. Like, can the entire land of, the world be occupied by people? Does that make any sense? I just don't know that it does. I've always seen the world as like a very diverse thing. Whenever I see, anything alive, like plants are very interesting things. If you take a second and actually look at them, they have so many different parts and features and attributes, and some of them sting you, some of them have spikes, and some of them are completely docile, like grass. And you don't know what you're going to get unless you know what you're doing with this stuff. And one thought that really hit me a couple years ago was, I don't know trees. Like, I don't know a single tree. I couldn't identify for you a tree. I knew trees existed. I see them every single day. I could not tell you what kind of tree that is, what kind of tree that is. I couldn't tell you, the difference between any trees because I was completely ignorant in something basically in front of my eyes every single day. For passing glances and just looking at, and you just don't understand what you're seeing. If you don't understand what's directly in front of you, you'll never see it. And sometimes reality is like that. You just don't see what's literally in front of your face. And trees are so unique. Each individually, they do different things in the environment, in the habitat. They feed things. Birds feed off of insects that go to tree flowers for pollen in certain times of the year. Everything is in season at a different time of year. Bushes will flower and trees will flower in different seasons. Usually not so much in the winter, but there's even some plants that will sprout and start growing in the winter. It's really cool, this stuff, these systems, how they work, this, biological systems, because it's like this thing has got a whole clock inside of it every single year. It comes back, you plant it and it's there. And some things are really hardy. There's different zones of hardiness with plants. You can't have a tree planted everywhere. You can't have an avocado in Illinois because it's going to freeze. You can keep it inside, but you're going to run into other problems trying to take care of a plant indoors. That's like literally a living being. You got to water that thing. That thing wants certain conditions to thrive. It wants a certain amount of sunlight. It wants good soil. It wants different things. Like, things are complicated. Taking care of something, being responsible for something is a complicated task. These things are not easy. And it's just kind of disappointing to be able to recognize that sometimes the things in front of your eyes that you really need to fix, you're just not looking at them. They're right in front of you. You don't even take a passing glance at it. Like a little mess on your desk. That's where it all starts, is a little bit of a mess on your desk. You clean it up, You have a notebook in front of you, you write something down. That's how it starts. It's one notebook, one word, the. Like, literally, stoicism. It could be anything. And yeah, food has just got me super excited. I have been testing out carnivore diet and carnivore meals, and I really like it personally. I am finding quite a nice degree of success eating carnivore, and that makes me question a lot of things that I've learned over the years. It makes me question things like, what is a plant? Should I be eating a plant? And I just don't know if that's true. I know other things can eat it, like grass. I can't eat grass. No way. That grass is coming out looking like grass. It's not going to do anything in my digestive system. I'm not equipped to eat that. I can't eat, like a beaver. It amazes me that beavers exist. I wish that we had so many beavers. Like, apparently there used to be millions of beavers. I wish we had like a ton. I don't know how many is the right amount, but just like a lot. Like, to the point where people wouldn't think like, "Oh, you're wearing a beaver hat?" Like, why would you do that? That's an extinct animal, dude. Like, I don't want it to reach that point ever. I just want there to be a ton. And I really like what I'm seeing with animal sanctuaries popping up. And this is actually something that I think more people should get involved with, because it's a responsibility that actually truly blesses you on a day-to-day basis. It can reward you tremendously looking after livestock, looking after animals. And I've been seeing it happen with like large birds, rhea, ostrich. I even saw one video with the guy with that really dangerous bird from the jungle. It's like almost a dinosaur, which is just crazy. Like, people are watching everything. People got tigers. There was that show Tiger King. Crazy stuff going on in the world, man. And yeah, people are taking care of animals, and I really think that's cool. Now, I personally would not take care of like a grizzly bear or a tiger or something, but I really like ruminants. I think that's really cool. They process their food in a different way than we do, and they actually break it down very efficiently. Like, we cannot break down grass like a cow. We just can't do it. And I think that's cool. I really think about how there were millions of buffalo in the Americas, apparently. People think of Native Americans, I think due to the American Empire, as like a weakened people. They look at them as a weakened people. And I think it's so sad, because there are actually quite a lot of natives left, and there is a great deal of pride in being a native. There is a great deal of pride in culture and who we are. And I won't speak on pride right now, but I'll also say that natives are quite strong and resistant and durable, and they've put up an interesting fight. And I don't like what's happened with the reservations per se, with like gambling specifically, is what I know. I don't know like too much. I really respect the natives of America. I don't know what's going on with like gambling reservations. I don't know if they're linked to Native people, but that seems like the trend that I always see on the media. I'm assuming most Native people are not linked to this at all, just because that doesn't really seem super likely. But maybe they are. I don't know how many natives are left. I know that a lot of tribes were lost, and apparently there was like hundreds of tribes. There were like I don't know, 200. I remember seeing a map of the tribes plotted out over the Americas, and there were so many peoples here. So many different peoples. It's just so cool. And they apparently, like 100 million people living in North America, right? Hundreds of years ago, apparently 100 millions of people, they were able to sustain a population of millions of bison. And I'm supposed to believe these people are constantly at war. I don't know about that. I mean, maybe there is competition. Maybe there is something like that going on. Maybe there is war. Maybe this was just an incredible organization in nature. And that's so like astounding to me, because think about that. 30 million bison, or whatever the number was. I don't know how many exactly. I think there were like, I think that's the number I heard, 30 million bison. Not including how many elk there would be, not including how many deer there would be, including extinct species, like these things lost to time. They are just a repeat in the cycle of time. And we see deer, and we see there's this many species and breeds, but in reality, like, they breed all the time. Like, there are different breeds being created. People they discover new types of sheep and they breed them and they crossbreed them, and we get different types, and some are used for wool, and some breeds last longer, and some breeds actually die out, which is reality. It's a harsh reality. And it's just amazing, this world that we live in. It's just so cool how all this stuff can organize itself and live in a sort of unity and prosper. Nature is always in a state of prosper. It's a shame that people themselves don't let themselves be. I'm, guilty of this too. I'm not Mr. Always in a good mood, but just right now I've been thinking, I'm in a good place in my life. I'm surrounded by really good people. I'm grateful. That's the word I'm looking for. I'm really grateful right now. I hope you are too. This is a life to be grateful for. And now I'm not going to start preaching. I'm just trying to talk over these push-ups, make the video less, I don't want to think of a negative word. So I'm going to think of a positive word like power, and how I've been feeling really good just going through this movement lately. Like 15 reps is a good place to be at. 15 reps in a row. I'm trying to go for 26 sets of 15. That's like a little micro goal for me. I'm still like 350 every day. Every day I'm just thinking like, what am I going to get today? What am I going to get today? And the goal, it is 350 every day, but doing 15 reps doesn't really let me land on 350 is basically what I'm trying to get at. I'd get to 360 and I feel like, I don't like 360 for no good reason at all. And then I do 390, and then maybe I do more, and maybe I do an accidental set. And it's nice just aiming for this goal every single day, hitting it, feeling, just satisfied. Good 400 push-ups a day is not a bad thing. And I've been enjoying this mostly because my wrist feels like it's getting better. Yeah, there's definitely quite a bit of sharp pain, and there still is some pain in the wrist. It's interesting. It's just a tightness. I really think I was just spinning that ball so much, that volleyball. If you know, you know. And yeah, my wrist feels good. The push-ups have basically little effect on it. I do think there is some effect. Of course, I am using my wrist to a certain degree, but I don't know. I was talking about this earlier today. I actually had a bruise like on my palm. Not my palm, but like uh opposite my index finger. That like part right by my wrist. It's kind of like the if I were to strike something with my palm, I would use that. I would use that because that is basically the end of my forearm, right? If I look at my hand, that's like the end of my forearm, opposite my elbow. And that's the first place you would hit with a strike, it seems, if you were to hit with the wrist. And yeah, kind of off topic, but it was just a bruise. I was like, what is this from? Is this from doing handstands? Is this from the push-ups? Where'd I get a bruise from? I didn't hit anything. I haven't been doing anything that would give me a bruise on my hand. And then it just went away the next day. Yeah. So life is going great for me. I'm just showing up, doing some push-ups, grilling up some meat, having good conversations with good people, productive conversations, moving forward. And I gotta make my goals video soon. I gotta do that. I've really forgotten about that. I wrote my goals down like a couple weeks ago, but I've got to get to that. It's been a quick year already. We're already a week, over a week into this year. Today's the 9th because I'm up again past midnight. And yeah, this year is going by quick, huh? I'm glad I've been keeping up with the push-ups. I gotta update my calendar. I have been tracking my push-ups on my calendar because think about this. I've been thinking about profit and I've been thinking about surplus, making a surplus, leaving a profit. And I've been tracking that. I've been tracking the surplus of push-ups I've been doing, and I'm happy with it. I did 1,274 push-ups total, plus my 56,764 that I did before that equals 58,038 push-ups completed so far. Please click the link below to work one-on-one with me. Thank you for watching. I'll see you in the next one. Bye.